2,000 years, he's still getting magazine covers. Unbelievable, right on the side of the F1 track too.
Good morning, folks. The sun is rising and the moon is setting here at the Gjeebs organization, and I am driving a model. Actually, the Model Y Standard is driving me to Vegas. We are going to SEMA, and I wanted to take the Model Y Standard to see how this thing was on a road trip. We have the 18-inch wheels on it, so we're going to be able to test efficiency, comfort. We got the roof here blacked out. We got the open center console here for activities. We got all kinds of things going on, and on top of that, we have full self-driving. So this is going to be a fun one. Now, since I have posted the original video on the standard Model Y, I've seen a bunch of your comments, right? Everyone's a genius in the comments, and that's why we love them. But I think there are some valid points that maybe I didn't initially think about. People said, you know, what's the value of this car? Why would I buy this car? And the reason that I think the reason that people are thinking this isn't a good value is because, number one, it's $40,000. That is a lot of money. The average new car is $50,000, so it's significantly under that. And then I thought to myself, okay, that's fair when I compare it to the Model Y Premium. Model Y Premium is a good value. It always has been. Then I thought the Nissan Leaf, which just came out, gets up into the $40,000 range. And what would I rather have? Would I rather have a Nissan Leaf, which gets 303 miles of range max, very small back seat, does look cool, or would I rather have a standard Model Y? For me, the answer is a standard Model Y. This thing is driving itself. Okay, you guys know how I am about full self-driving. There's some people that full self-driving is like their first sexual partner. They just won't shut up about it. It's annoying. However, in all fairness, it is remarkable. And it does some really stupid things. It'll just miss an exit, and you're like, how is it missing an exit? And then you'll see videos where it gets people out of an accident. And then overall, it's so far ahead of what everyone else is doing. Nice porta-john there. And yet the media coverage of it is just this negative, like it's killing people. And the fact is that I left my house this morning and hit full self-driving, and I haven't touched the wheel. I've touched it if it said to touch it, but not because I needed to. I've hit the turn signal a few times when I didn't want to be in the fast lane. And this isn't even on the updated 14.1 software, which is nuts, because that cuts up in traffic and it's crazy. So what I like about the Standard, I like that the roof is sealed off. They were able to gain more efficiency. I like that the steering wheel is manual adjustment. I like that it has 321 miles of range, and they gained efficiency through the rear spoiler and through the 18-inch wheels and then the hand-cooked tires that they put on these things, while reducing the battery pack by like 10 or 12%, whatever it is. It's a 69 kilowatt hour usable pack compared to about 79 usable in the premium Model Ys. This is also rear-wheel drive, and rear-wheel drive cars feel the best to drive because there's not as much going on with the front end. You don't have the tires pulling, and when you're turning, you don't have them fighting turning and traction and all of that. So steering in your hand feels great, and the steering wheel, ergonomically, the updated steering wheel feels excellent on the Juniper and Highland models. This thing didn't come with floor mats, but you know what I put in it? 3D Mats USA. I put in the 3D Mats Max Spider floor mats, and they fit perfectly. I was kind of curious about that as well. So if you're looking for floor mats for your car, because these don't come with it, code Gjeebs at 3dmatsusa.com will give you a discount. The other thing, we're on a road trip, and you can kind of hear there's some road noise coming up right now, kind of a rough surface. But I've been listening to podcasts the whole way this morning. The sound system is clear. It's excellent. I was a little worried about that because it's nice, and you get off of work, you sit in traffic, your car drives itself. My automatic high beams are going. I'm listening to my podcast. I can still listen to the podcast without blasting it, so the cabin noise is better. The suspension in this, you're probably wondering, what's the suspension like? The suspension is slightly firmer. The ride quality is still better than the original Model Y. I think a lot of that has to do, the spring rates are definitely different. It also has 18-inch wheels from the factory. The best way to improve your Tesla's ride quality is just with a bigger sidewall. smaller diameter wheel is going to help you the most. It's going to be the cheapest way to do it, because then from there you can go to suspension and all that stuff. So the Premium does have a more plush feel, has a better suspension. The cabin is quieter on the new Model Y. The 360 acoustic glass, that's not just a marketing term. That is a real thing. It works. And I think I'm shocked by how good the sound system is still in this model. Now, we are going to look at efficiency. So let's keep this drive going. We're going to be able to hit, it looks like we're only going to have to hit one charger going to Vegas. And that is no different than me being in my Premium Model Y, one charger, 10% state of charge arrival. So I think having over 300 miles of range in this thing is excellent. And I'm so happy they did that and kept the cost where it is, as opposed to having it a $35,000 model and then it's 240 miles of range would just be useless, basically, or not useless, but it would be very annoying for road trips. Another thing that I'm enjoying here is just this space right here. It just, I can rest my knee over here as the car's driving itself, and I just have this extra space. I think this was really well done. I think another thing they could have done is remove the wireless chargers, because I think most people become annoyed with them anyways. The suspension, we are on a rougher road right now. It's a little louder coming up through the vehicle. The seats are very comfortable. I will say that. The seats are comfortable. Not having cooled seats in a place like Arizona, kind of a problem for me. I'm probably out just because of that. In fact, my cameraman, Andrew, he had a perfectly good Model 3. And then once the new model, the Highland, came out with standard cooled seats on all models, he went and upgraded the car. As simple and maybe as stupid as that may seem to people, I think that is also a look into the mind of a consumer. It may be the slightest change that you add or take away, and that can make someone spend tens of thousands of dollars upgrading a perfectly fine item just because of a new feature that's been added. So consumers are fickle, especially when it comes to cars. I've talked to a lot of people. I get emails from people saying, hey, I just bought the Model Y. I'm not sure if I got the right one. I'm like, you just spent $60,000. How do you not know? But that's why I'm here. The Gjeebs organization has you covered, and we hope you're subscribed to this channel. So overall, comfort on this trip so far with the seats and the suspension is good. It isn't where the Premium is. The Premium, there is certainly a separation. The other thing is rideshare drivers, I think, who this is going to be very appealing for. Business owners who have a fleet of vehicles. The Model Y, in my opinion, is like the best EV value out there. My friend Justin has a fleet of 300 Teslas in Phoenix. So he's a customer for this. And there's fleets like that all over the country. So this may be who that is for. I thought to myself, could this be for the first time, like a new driver, a parent getting their kid a new car? That would be a rich kid. A wealthy kid, they call him. Rich Baron. Baron has the Y standard. Melania loves it. It drives him around the White House. So it's a little expensive for that. And the other comment I saw a lot of people say is, I'll just get a Juniper refresh that's slightly used. That's a fair point as well, because you'll take it off the initial depreciation hit and you'll get that for the same cost as this, or maybe a little bit less. But overall, the efficiency and everything has been good. So we just hit 50% state of charge. So that shows at 162 miles of range. And then if we go down here, so we've currently driven, let's see, trip B, 127.3 miles. So we are about 40 miles off in terms of range driven. Now, that is because the speed limit is 65, I'm going 76. And all of Tesla's, the testing is done at 65 miles per hour. So I've done this road trip before in my Model Y Premium. In my launch edition, I've driven to Las Vegas on one single charge. To do that, you just have to drive the speed limit. So everyone gets upset, oh, I'm not getting the range, I'm not getting the range. Well, it's because you're going 80 or 85 miles per hour. Even 70 is, you're gonna get pretty much your range. It depends on, are you going uphill? Is it hot? Are you blasting the AC? All of that stuff. So again, I've said this a million times as well. You have to use this app right here because this shows you, this is your EPA number, and then this number right here is, I'm gonna get kicked off FSD, but this number is the real one.
All right, so the car just drove me from Phoenix to the White Hills charger. It said stop here, so we stopped. And now it drove me right in front of the chargers, and it's backing me in. So, yeah, and now I have to get out and plug it in. I mean, that's pretty remarkable. This is their entry-level car. The other thing I'm curious to see if the charging, if that ramps up to the 225 max, which I'm sure it will. Come on. And then here's the other thing, only 5 minutes remaining to continue the trip. So, yeah, so this charging stop, I mean, I'm gonna go in here and maybe get something to eat, but I mean, the charging is not bad at all. And because it has a smaller battery pack, you're not having to sit, it's efficient, and it has a small battery pack, which is the best scenario in terms of not having to spend a lot of time charging on road trips. But yeah, we're gonna go in here and, I don't know, visit the gas station.
Yeah, so this charge stop was like, it was like 9 minutes or something, very short. That's what I needed to stop for, but I went in and got a little Deli Express. I mean, how am I supposed to say no to this? So I'm gonna let it charge a little bit more while I enjoy my Deli Express, get a little break. But ultimately, what I like so far is the fact that it does have a smaller pack. It still has a high charging speed. Let me turn my heated seat off. Has a good enough charging speed and a decent curve to it that you move on quickly. And just that is what a lot of people miss. Efficiency, the efficiency of the vehicle in terms of the wheels, the motors, all of that stuff, it adds up in this. Now, do I miss some of the creature comforts? Do I wish it was a little quieter? Maybe, but I also would have to drive mine like literally back to back on the same roads to see what I think. I do, maybe the suspension is one thing I could say. I like the premium one, but oh yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, this could have been sitting in there for weeks, but if you're driving from Phoenix to Vegas and you can skip the Kingman charger, I kind of like skipping that one because you have to kind of go into that town. This one's a pit stop. It's right off and it's just 30 minutes up the road. This is excellent. Oh yeah. This is, you know, the epitome of a Gjeebs road trip. It's, you eat some foul food, you find a place to blow out. This one said stop here, and we're cruising right now. This is also a good time to mention today's video sponsor, walkietalkies.us. These are fully encrypted. You can get them at walkietalkies.us. You can have up to 10,000 users on one channel, and they are partnered with the cellular service. And I think this is only $40 a year to have service on. So like if your kids, you don't want them to have a cell phone, but you want to have access to them and them have access to you, this is a great use case for that. So you can have up to 10,000 users. They're fully encrypted, so you're not going to have somebody going, hey, sweetie, what are you wearing? You know, driving your car around. And these have been very useful for when I'm doing video shoots. Fire departments use these. School systems use these. These are excellent. And the founder of their company is a supporter of the Gjeebs organization. So if you're looking for a cool Christmas gift, these are excellent. If you have family overseas or whatnot, check these out. Walkietalkies.us. Walkietalkies.us, linked in the description, or use the QR code on the screen.
Another thing to show you here, Trip B, which is what I reset at the beginning of this, we did 250 miles of range, and that was basically all at highway speeds, so 70, 75, 80 miles per hour, and that took it down to 6% battery. So if you're going, it's just, I mean, it's just physics. At a lower speed, you're going to be getting more efficiency, but 250 real-world miles of range at highway speeds. Back east, you know, it's going to be a lot easier to match what the computer is saying, but out west, these wide-open highways, tough to get efficient numbers. So now the rest of our trip. Nice little stop here for some thumbnails. And then shout out to the big fuzz, Desmond. Beautiful. Wow. Crossing the Pat Tillman Bridge. Hoover Dam. Block, not pictured, but there. Right over there somewhere. And it's 9:43, but it's about to be 8:43. Look at the folks. Look at the people who are out today. Into Nevada. 8:43, right on time. 2,000 years, he's still getting magazine covers. Unbelievable, right on the side of the F1 track, too. All right, so I'm about to show you guys something insane. This is Colin here. I'll show you what caught my eye. What type of screen is installed on the front of this?
So this is a fully customizable LED screen.
Yeah.
And it is embedded into the Tesla bumper itself. So you just remove the OEM bumper and you put this one on top.
Okay. And so my question, when I saw something like this could be an Uber driver. You could advertise. Companies could pay you as an Uber. You could be earning like double the money potentially.
Yeah, that's a great point. So yep, two ways. As a consumer, just an everyday person, if you want to change up the aesthetics of it, you can customize however you like, put different images, different videos. But as you pointed out, for businesses as well. Just like a taxi or just any business, you can advertise on in here as well.
And the company is APS Auto.
APS Auto Parts. Yes.
APS Auto Parts. Yeah. So, I'll have them linked down below because this is just really cool. And what about like the crash test stuff? Like if you replace this?
It's a great point. So right now this one is a prototype.
Okay.
We are doing more additional testing, making sure that it is strong enough to withstand everyday use and it is road safe.
Cool. Yeah. Awesome product.
Perfect.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
I definitely showed these guys last year when I was at SEMA. This is the Rag Company. They make all kinds of drying towels here. So I've tested the Gauntlet, but this is my favorite. It's called the Liquidator. I'll have it linked in the description. These things are incredible. They come in multiple different colors. It's a good one there. I think I have it in the baby blue, but literally dries your car like you see it in the advertisements. You wash it up. It just works incredibly well. So highly recommend this if you're washing and drying your car. All right, we're here at the Fantic booth. Have to cover Fantic because I love this stuff. Okay, so the new product here is the X10 Pro Max. So this is a high-powered, I actually don't even have this at home yet. This is a high-powered air compressor, and it's still very compact. So the X9 Pro, which is what I used to have, it's now the X10 Pro. You can kind of see the form factor. So this could still fit in like your door sill pocket. You have all of your pumps, you have all your tips down in there, charged with USB-C, and it's just kind of a nice, ergonomically very nice size. So that's kind of what's new from then. So I highly recommend these because they're reliable and they show the air pressure is really well done. This one turns on when you pop that out. That's just kind of how that works. And then behind me here, this has been one of my most popular ones that I've shown. It's the vacuum. I actually don't know. Let's see. V10 Slim. So you've got that right here, and this is incredible. I use this in the car, in the stroller, I use it in the house, I use it all over the place. Again, it's portable, it's rechargeable, it's just been a really high quality product that I'm using for more than cleaning the car. So again, Fantic's been a great partner on the channel. I will have this stuff linked, I'll have the vacuum that I use linked below, as well as these air compressors. Legacy Model Y here, sitting on, what is this? Curva Concepts. Beautiful looking wheel, really nicely stanced. Full carbon body kit as well. Might be plastic, but really clean looking. Lexani tires, cheap tire. Looks good, it's really clean. Heading into the North Hall now. Just met with Hankook briefly. Basically, I come to this event now not really to see cars or anything, but to try to work with some of these bigger brands that I've promoted in the past. That girl's like a big OnlyFans girl. Yeah, definitely. And I just saw a guy back there rubbing a cigarette around his lips like chapstick. I've never seen that move. So you learn all kinds of things here at SEMA. So we're going into North Hall, and we'll see what's in here. Kind of a cool setup here. I think I'm actually gonna get this installed in the garage, huh?
whipping around there. The other thing that was fascinating to me is I'm always curious about the models here, like what is their life like? And I was talking to one of them, and I was like, how do you feel about them kind of just renting you out so people basically just come in to talk to you because of how you look? And I was like, do you like it? She said, she goes, like it, but at the same time, I'm thinking, man, if I just looked a certain way and just had to stand somewhere and got paid well for it, not that bad. I mean, I look like I got run over, you know? I look like roadkill. All right, so I'm here with the Out of Spec crew, Alyssa, Colton. We were looking at this. Colton and I were going to go 2-on-2 here. We decided against it. This is colored PPF. I don't know how it is. I guess this is it. But yeah, the advertising methods they go with here. But I will say it is nice they hired male models for this box, so I like this. Interesting product here. So these mirrors are fully digital mirrors, side mirrors, that you would hook up to a Model 3 or Y. This would then be your center display, and then here are your mirrors that you look at. So you can keep your eyes on the road and just glance down and look at the mirrors, and then this hooks up so you can get all the infotainment. So that's a really unique product. Plus, you then get some puddle lights on the ground. There we go. Nice. It's really cool. Nice.
Yeah, and you can also change the color of the LED indication. Look from this side.
Okay. Oh, wow. Nice. All right, so some really cool products here. Red Tiger and Wolfbox, worked with both of them on the channel. But this right here is one of my favorite products that they've developed. It's the MegaFlow 200, really high-powered compressed air. Instead of you having to use the compressed air tanks, you just use one of these. But then they also showed me this monster here. What is this called? The MegaFlow 200?
No, that's a 500 Pro.
500, yeah. This is a beast. So he did a demo. He was blowing the air up there and it moved the sign up on the roof. So the MegaFlow 500, the big dog, right here. The other thing that excites me is I play golf, you guys know that. They have range finders. So I'll have that linked in the description as well. But
all right, we got enough charge to continue the trip. But just as far as use case, look at all this stuff I can just throw down here and see what's there and then easily clean it out. I actually prefer this over having this all closed off. Some wild it. Was that a ram or goats? I've told this story before. I must share it again. I was at the Phoenix Zoo one day and there's like a mountain within the zoo, okay? And on that mountain are a bunch of ram. Now you're at the zoo, so those are not wild. They are clearly fenced in. There is this mom, and I mean, she's Botoxed out of her mind, walking around on the phone, ignoring her kids. And on the phone, I'm standing next to her, and she goes, "Oh my God, there's like wild ram up on this hill. It's crazy here." And I'm like, "Lady, you're standing next to a lion. We're at the zoo." I love that. It just made my day when I heard her say that. So since we have some time in here, I really like the closed off roof. That's actually nice, just less, I'd be getting hit with sun right now from about right here. That's not happening. Windows aren't tinted, obviously, but just having the closed off roof helps so much. So I like that. I absolutely love the open space down here. Steering wheel feels great. Seats are nice. I do miss having cooled seats, I will say that. You know, I'm trying to think, like, overall, I think the overall sentiment could be correct in that people are saying I would just pay $5,000 more. This may end up just being a fleet vehicle. It's just tough to say. We'll see what the take rate is. I really think the biggest miss with this vehicle, it doesn't have autopilot. And I feel like they should be, that's just a software thing where they could turn it on
and change all of that. One of the biggest values when I initially bought a Tesla years ago was the fact that for free, all of the cars come with autopilot, which is arguably one of the best lane keep assists, and it can be used on unmapped roads. That's the thing. It's like, yes, there's Blue Cruise and Super Cruise and all these different cruises, right? There's Carnival cruises. I could be going down a surface street, turn it on, and if I have to grab something in the back, I have some sort of backup there, where with a lot of those other programs, they just don't work that way. I wish they would add that to this vehicle. It doesn't seem like it would add any cost. It would add a lot of value. But all the other things that they did to gain efficiencies, having 321 miles of range, I love the 18-inch wheels. I love the tire that they developed. I definitely want to test it on my Model Y. I think that would be really cool to see how much more range we could squeeze out of it by putting 18s on in the wheel cover. I guess we can also show you what's behind the wheel cover. I didn't show that. All right, so here we go here. This is obviously completely closed off. Put your finger in here. So there you go. It's a steely, folks. It's really something else. $235.5 watt-hours per mile is what I got on the entirety of that trip. That's 600 some miles that I drove, and basically all highway driving from Phoenix up to Las Vegas. So that equates to 292 miles of range, which is about 91% of the stated range of the vehicle. That's if you drain the battery from 100% all the way down to 0 with 69 kilowatt hour usable pack. Overall, how do I feel about the vehicle after doing a long road trip like that, using full self-driving? I didn't use the frunk, but because the interior of the car has so much storage, I don't miss that. But I would prefer that this had some usable frunk in terms of like it being waterproofed and everything like that. To illustrate the difference between these two frunks, so this frunk here on the Premium already has the mobile charger in it. If we go like this, we can fit a camera bag, but there's also a difference. So it easily fits a camera bag. There's even more space over here. Now, if we come over to the Standard, it just fits the camera bag. But what I love about the Standard, and I hope they put this on the Premium, is how that closes perfectly. Whereas that, you have to press it down on your own. So check this out. So we'll open this back up, take this over here. I actually can't believe how much bigger this is. It's actually 2 cubic feet larger. But look, if I drop this down, it doesn't close. You have to actually lock it in with your hands. So that's actually a cool update that they've run on the Standard. Now, the efficiency of the vehicle is absolutely gained through these tires and the wheel setup. So this is a 235 width tire. The other Model Y, which is actually right there, is a 255 width tire. So they're gaining a ton of efficiency. If you were able to throw these 18-inch wheels on that, which you are able to, I'm sure Tesla will sell these at some point, you would add a ton of efficiency to that vehicle. In fact, if you put these on a Model Y rear-wheel drive Premium, I'd bet you can get close to 400 miles of range. So overall, I mean, the look of the vehicle, it's different. It's interesting that the headlights are completely different. The seats were comfortable. I like the material on the inside. And the sound system, that's another thing that I was worried about. I was like, what are podcasts going to sound like in this thing? And it still sounds very crisp. I didn't have to blast it. It didn't sound cheap, even though it only has 7 speakers. The other thing that I absolutely loved is the interior. I love this open space here, being able to sit things and easily have access to them. So being able to see what is sitting down here, for me, it was just bags of pretzels. So I like that. I like that the cup holders are mounted right here. And like I said before, the wireless chargers, I wish you could turn these off in a setting here, or I wish they just removed the wireless chargers completely and just had a place to rest your phone, because it ends up just heating up so much. The seats, really nice material. I do miss having cooled seats. It's just something nice to have. Even when it's not that hot outside, you still build up a little bit of sweat back there, and it would be nice to arrive not smelling like a pig. But they are nice looking seats. Again, you have the premium vegan leather, then you have this textile material on the center, kind of matching what's up on the dash. The other thing, they don't cheap out on the infotainment or the cameras. It still has full self-driving. I think it's a miss to not put autopilot on this and let it just have self-steer. Overall, the vehicle on the road trip was excellent. The suspension not being as sophisticated at that as the premium Model Y, you do feel it sometimes, but overall not the biggest deal in the world, again, because you have 18-inch wheels and you have a ton of tire there absorbing a lot of the shocks. I like the standard Y, but I also understand people's sentiment just like, hey, you should just save up a little bit more and go for the premium version. I think I agree with that. I think the premium version for $5,000 offers a ton more. I think for businesses, this is going to make a lot of sense. For fleets, like if you have a business that has 2 cars, if you have maybe you have a Ford Escape, and then you want to try something else, try a standard Y. See what the cost difference is through a year or 2 years. I think you're going to save a ton of money. Your employees are going to like these things. I just think there's a lot of value in this, but it might not be for the mainstream consumer. I think either getting one slightly used, saving up a little bit longer, and getting a premium is probably worth it, because you're not going to be looking like, I wish I would have got the cooled seats, or I just like that the sound system's a little bit better. I like the panoramic roof. Make sure you're getting the exact car you want, whether that's this or a Model 3. Or the other 2 features that were heavily talked about were the steering wheel. I love that it's manually adjustable, so I like that. And then also the seat controls here. Now that my mind, like when I was out in Texas shooting this, like there's a million things going on and it's a little confusing. But now that I've played with it a little bit more, it's not bad. I still prefer to have the seat switch, but overall the switches and everything are the same for seat controls. So thank you to Tesla for letting me use this vehicle for the road trip and be able to bring that content to you guys. Make sure you guys drop a like for that. And then also, if you want to see what accessories to get for your Model Y, click this video right here. That will be very helpful.